Hi. All right, so today I want to talk about the second half of the video, which is basically the video which is why did I get sick and why am I still sick? And those are really important questions. So I hope you took the chance to jot something down on a piece of paper, because now I want you to get that piece of paper. So if you don't have it, go pause this video, grab your piece of paper. If you haven't done it, go back and watch part one about what you need to do and come back with the piece of paper. All right, so if you're evaluating this list, and everybody has their own story of why did they get sick, what are all the factors, what are all the things that you really believe truly are the reasons why you got sick, right? Most of those are going to be like physical or external sort of situations, events, people, things that happen to you. These types of things, like for me, the drugs, the chemical assault on my body, that was number one. So that's something external and something physical that happened to me. It could have been an event, an accident. I was a new mom, so that's an external, it's a physical, it's a new challenge, right? My lack of sleep, that's a physical thing. I wasn't getting enough sleep. My lack of iron and nutrients, because my body was so depleted, that's a physical problem, right? So there's a lot of like physical problems that you can probably, whether it's an event, a situation, a thing that happened, like a situation, anything, like I didn't have a mother support. That was, I'm not saying they're all like not internal, but these are kinds of the things that get us sick. They get us into this hole. They cause the illness to happen. And you probably have your own list. That's great. And what normally keeps us sick is our internal focus, right? Our internal thoughts, our worldview, our personality traits, how we're looking at things, our values. Those might be, and some of like internal things, those might be some of the reasons what's keeping you sick. I'm not saying that's necessarily true across the board, but they're just things to note down when you are making your list. So basically, the good news is that once you have this list of why you got sick, and then what other contributing factors are there? So what was the main reason why you got sick? What are all the reasons why you think you got sick? And then what are any other contributing factors to that illness? And then why do you think you're still sick? So once you have all that written down on a piece of paper, and you should have like a bunch of like scribbles, that's good. What you want to do is you go back, and the answer is simple. You change everything. Everything. So you do the opposite of everything. So you make everything that was wrong right, and you work to gain your health back with this list. So this is a seriously important list. So basically mine was like drugs, chemical assault, all these things on my body. Okay, so we know that I need to change that. I cannot take any medication. I cannot take any drugs. I cannot put any toxins in my body. I cannot have any more toxic overload in my life. So I need to clean out my cupboards. I can't eat anything that is not good for my body, because my toxic load bucket is already overfilling. So that's one thing that I need to do. The fact that I had a lack of sleep, great. I need to get more sleep. Okay, so I need to schedule sleep. I need to have a better bedtime. I was a new mom. Okay, so maybe I need more support. How can we brainstorm to solve that problem, right? I don't have a mom, and that causes me internal sadness. Okay, well, I need to build other relationships stronger. Maybe think about her more, find a way to honor her memory that supports me, or bring her into my life, or tell my children about her, or create new relationships, or fill that void somehow. Journal, whatever it is, I need to do something to take that on. Was it EMFs for me getting that new TV in my house? Okay, well, it's the easy way. Turn off screens, take them out, solve the problems one by one, right? I didn't trust my inner voice. I didn't listen to my nagging voice inside me. So to solve that, I turn the tables around, and I always listen to my inner voice. I always listen to myself first. Being impatient. Well, now I know I have to learn patience. I was not confident in my own self to take care of myself and my body's ability. So I need to grow that. What do I need to do to be confident in my own ability to take care of all the problems in my life? You know, the fact that I battled for so long with a debilitating illness on my nervous system that completely and utterly, you know, wreaked havoc on all my systems, my hormones, my central nervous systems, my you know, my fatigue, my anxiety, all these different parts of the body were affected. So I need to go one by one. I need to rebalance my hormones. I need to rebalance my neurotransmitters. I need to calm down my CSN. I need to, you know, speed up my metabolism. All these different things that I need to do. So you figure out what is broken down, and we're going to fix those one by one, right? And then the most important things is like, why am I still sick, right? These are a lot of times our internal things. So they're harder to fix. They're not easy. Like, you know, in the illness, I lost trust in my own body and my own mind and my own soul. I destroyed faith in the universe, in God, in medical practitioners, in myself, in my friends, in my family, in humanity, in God. These are big, huge, enormous things. So how do we tackle them one by one? So I lost faith in all my family and friends. So maybe I need to work on rebuilding that slowly. Find out where I can have faith in my family and friends. Find out where I can call on their support, where I can open up to them, where I can reach out to them again. So it's like rebuilding after a period of time. How can I strengthen my spirituality and my connection to God, or, you know, my meditation, or my trust in the universe, or my trust in myself and my own body, by listening to my body, sitting still with it, maybe meditating. You know, these are all things. My whole world was destroyed, right? I lost everything. So how do I socially climb back, financially climb back, you know, mentally climb back? So maybe I need to start reading a book, or doing a brain game, or doing a crossword puzzle, or we build each, whatever you've lost, you have to build each back up. And some of these are really hard because they're internal, right? It's like your world view on the world, so they are not easy to change. So sometimes it's like your own personality, like really good traits when you are well. Most people who have a chronic illness at one point use these traits that are now negative for them as positive. So like maybe you were constantly a type A personality, and you were achieving, and you were pursuing goals, and you had this sense of urgency and all these wonderful qualities about you. But when you are sick, they're working against you. So you're unbalanced, and you're stressed out, and you're trying to achieve something that you can't achieve. You're trying to attain your health, and it feels impossible, and you're butting heads against it. You're trying to have that personality, and you're coming against all this resistance. So maybe you need to it's not like you need to change your personality, but they become like the flip side of the positives. All the negatives come out when you're sick. So you need to work to like tone down the negative side of that trait and stimulate the positive side. What can you do? What small goals? If you're an achiever, instead of beating yourself up because you're not achieving it, what small goals can you take? What little goals every day can you take to start to achieve a big, insurmountable, unmovable sort of roadblock in your way? Or if you are sort of always perfectionistic, right? And self-critical, and, you know, you sort of, I wrote all these things down, like, or maybe you worry a lot, right? This was kind of your traits beforehand, but in real life, that was good because that helped you solve problems, and it helped you keep your family safe and protect yourself, and think of plans and lists, and really eliminate all kinds of bad things from happening by worrying in advance. And this is how you sort of maybe you you worked in the world. But now that you're sick, it's like you're fixated on the problem and you're trying to control it and you can't, and you're trying to keep yourself safe, and there's all these threats all the time coming at you and you're overwhelmed by these. So what I'm saying is you need to like look at your traits, look at your own personality. Like maybe you're analytical or too skeptical, or you seek to please people, or you want approval from others, right? Or maybe you're pessimistic, and of when you're sick, you're always pessimistic. I mean, maybe in real life you already were a pessimist, but pessimists, I mean, optimists are great, but pessimists are good because they're able to acknowledge things that aren't going right, and they're able to point out problems of things that are going wrong. And these are usually people who are very high achievers. They're people who get a lot of things done because they're able to look at the negative side of things before they jump, and they're able to sort of project and see negative outcomes before they get themselves into that situation. So a pessimist isn't necessarily all bad, but when you're sick, all you can see is the negative. You're bogged down by this. You're not using the good side of the trait for good. You're consumed with the negative, right? You're consumed with it's all disappointment. Everything's bad. There is no way out. There is no hope. So you're consumed by these worldviews that need to be changed and challenged one by one, and doing little things to see the positive, to really in recovery take all those bad traits that maybe you used as a way to get things done when you were healthy, but they're destroying you in this situation. So you really do need to change all of those personality traits. You need to change all of your views and all of your things that you wrote down, the personal side of why you think you're still sick, or why you got into this mess, and what this illness has done to you and robbed you of, and change all that. Work to change all that. Little steps, right? How can you build back your trust in God, humanity, friends, family, social life, your ability to take care of yourself, to go out in the world, to do all these things, right? It's like you have to retrain like you're a newborn baby. And then the physical ones, all the things, or the situations, or the problems, or maybe you work too much, or whatever it was that caused your illness in the first place, or you got some sort of virus. So you're going to need to improve your situation externally and physically. So it's everything from an environment to probably what you're eating, how you're sleeping, your personality, and your everything. But the good news is that once you have your list of all the things that went wrong in your environment, the things that went wrong in your relationships, or your work life, or your personality, or your mental thoughts, a situation that happened, anything that you can gain insight as to why you got sick and why you're still sick, you just take that list, and that is exactly the roadmap that you need to plan and work on every day to switch around every single one of those things from that's not right to make it right. So it's a lot of work, but if you have and seriously have done all the work on brainstorming everything, it's just a matter of now taking all those things, making a new sheet with, we're going to do the opposite of all of that. We're going to make all of that right now, and how. So now, that person who is, over analytical or over critical, or the worrier, or someone who, all those kind of traits, the goal setter, the achiever, all these things are great now because you have your list, and you can go down and you can really plan. You can be analytical. You can try to achieve, and you don't have to do it all in a day. Rome wasn't built in a day. This is a process. And when your life is destroyed, you build it back slowly. Just like a new baby doesn't learn to walk in one day, neither will you. But now you have your roadmap. It's a personalized roadmap for you. And I know it's easy to say, oh, this is so much work. It's so much effort. But if you take this seriously, if you take this piece of paper, if you turn it into your personal roadmap and you have all the things that you need to do, your goals, then you can let the other things go, the things that aren't important, you know? Maybe diet had no effect on you. Maybe that wasn't your problem. Maybe lack of sleep wasn't your problem. Maybe, so you can stop focusing on all the other things that aren't specific to your situation, and you can put the things that are specific to your situation first. So that is my best advice. It's taken me a long time to figure that out, how to make a customized roadmap to health. And this is where you need to start. So I hope you take it seriously, give it a try, see what you think.